Well, I think, to be honest, you have to be a bit of each. It's no use just being one or the other. A really successful chief designer has to have the skills to manage the department and make sure it runs properly so that projects are done on time and to budget. But also, you have to be a designer and a creative person to run it successfully. And one of the reasons is that so many people in a company think they know design because there's no mathematic or scientific proof that one design is better than another. So whatever the rank of the person in the company, they seem to take on this amazing ability to design cars or to judge the design. And I think that's where a pure administrator running a design department has a problem, because really that person has no bigger right or greater right to decide than the managing director. The chief designer, who's a creative chief designer, at least has that ability to say, look, this is what we have to do in the future. So it's a mixture, it's a combination. And I would say that a chief designer who draws all the time and does everything himself, that's not a successful chief designer either. If you have a team of designers, young designers are the ones who have the bright ideas, that may be impossible or maybe difficult to achieve, but they come up with the ideas, and if you're telling them all the time, if you're controlling everything they do, they will soon lose interest. So my job is to encourage bright ideas and help those ideas to come through to a producible form. And that's done by guiding and suggesting, not dictating, not saying, I want you to move that line 5 millimeters down and move it across 10 millimeters and I'll come back tomorrow to check. I have to say, well, what if we move that line? What would happen then? And we would discuss it. And the critical thing is for the designer to say, oh yes, and if we did this, right, that's what to do. Go ahead, and off they go, and they continue on their design, and it's still theirs. So it's a very interesting way of operating, to be head of the creativity of a company, to manage the department, but to keep everybody involved. I probably don't put a pencil on paper too much myself, because there are guys in the department who are absolutely amazing at drawing these days. The standard of drawing alone has increased fantastically. But I'm the one that picks out those ideas. I can spot an idea that has really got some future value and encourage that designer to develop it. I might just say, well, no, what if we do it more like this, and draw on the sketch. But I feel that if I took over and just did everything and put all the sketch, then chose my own sketch, I mean, that would mean I was on my own from then on, and I wouldn't have the necessary help and backing of the whole team. No, I suppose there's often one or two people who you realise have got real potential, and you'd like to maintain that relationship. And occasionally, it's no more than one or perhaps two that you'll say, well, if I get an opportunity, I'll bring that person with me. But it's not a sort of roving family going around the world. I would hate to identify people that I feel are the best, because that would mean there's a heck of a lot more people that feel, oh, he doesn't like my work or something. So it's a dangerous game to start naming favourites. But I think it's really to get a team of people who understand what you're trying to achieve, to set the goals, and to have people around you who can actually pick it up and move with it and improve it. And to me, it's like a design director is not as in sales director or financial director. It's more as in film director, where there's the guy who has a vision, he has an idea for a movie, but he doesn't write the script, he doesn't act, he doesn't hold a camera or sound equipment, he doesn't edit it. But at the end of the day, it's the director's creation, and he's done it through the efforts of all those other people, and he's just helped them along the way to get to that success. But at the end of the day, he's had the vision, and he's either achieved the vision or often has got something better than his own vision. And that's what I like to think, that I will have a vision, and through the efforts of all the other members of the team, we actually improve on that vision.
Approach closer to you?
Well, I do like to give credit where credit's due. And of course, in any team, there are people who've had a greater role than others. You know, there's always somebody who really sparked off the first idea. And they deserve credit, I think. It's tempting, of course, to say, well, this is my latest. At the end of the day, if everybody in the team is doing well and they get the credit for it, you'll automatically get some respect as well, but not just from the public or the observers outside, from the team members themselves. I think you feel.
Don't wipe out the signatures.
Oh no! Don't rub the signature off the drawing. No, it's perfectly okay. It's allowed. I think you have to be ready with some people who are ready to take over. It's absolutely essential that you see that as part of your job. It's very selfish not to do that. And I think it's also a sign of self-confidence that you can actually start to guide people into the position where they can take over. It's my responsibility to make sure that, in this case, Volvo has a succession plan so that if anything happens to me, then there's somebody ready to step in. And I'm quite confident that I have a choice. A number of people, or Volvo will have a choice. If I don't turn up for work one day, there are one or two, maybe 3 or 4 people who they could depend on just to pick up where I left off and move with it. Absolutely. Obviously, over the years or over the months, we've developed a similar appreciation for the forms we're creating, and an agreement, because that's the car that's the design we're going to pursue, and therefore there is an automatic continuity. Sometimes somebody will come along and say, right, I'm in charge now and I'm going to change everything. I don't think that's good for the company. You have to have some continuity in a brand.